What's up, everybody? This is A7X Fan Ben, and this is how to get the most out of the Jade Rebellion faction. So this was a faction that was introduced and only appeared in South China Seas, the 5th set, and generally the most expensive set by pack price. And you can see some of their gorgeous, colorful fleet sails in this picture from my 2014 fleet review, but we'll jump right into it. So they actually have the best name crew options out of any minor faction. I don't think this is really subjective. The other minor factions don't have great name crew, but the Jades actually have quite a number. They have a +5. They've got Captain with reroll. They've got this guy, Zai. He's got SAT. Zhengli Quan has treasure trading with Sack. So they got some good ones. They got a 0LR +5 and a 0LR reroller. So they have some of the same options as some of the powerful limit crew options that the major factions have. And they even got some really good support crew. Qian Ying, who is one of the artists for the game, actually. He's got cargo wrecking on a crew, which is nasty. Chang Pao, one of my favorite ships to use on the Baochuan for World Hater. Dragon Eyes is decent on some bigger ships. Warlord Cavendish. So they are loaded with name crew, actually. They don't have very many, but the ones they got are quite effective. So for minor factions, they shine with name crew big time. And they do have some big ships. The Six Masters and the Baochuan give them firepower to compete with some of the bigger factions in the game. I will say the name crew options, the lack of quantity sometimes holds them back from optimizing all those ships in a bigger game. But in 200 or 300 point games, a mono faction Jade Rebellion fleet will usually stand up to one of the big 6 factions a bit better than like a Corsair only or a Viking only fleet. And that's partly because they've got these big guns at the top, especially Grand Temple, Grand Path, and Baochuan. Those 3 kind of form a pretty nice trio of some pretty good firepower options overall compared to the other minor factions. They're better at fighting than gold running, so it's good to optimize around that. The name crew help with that. A lot of the name crew are more combat based than gold based. So they have some good gold runners, and I'll put links to these the rankings, basically the rankings posts where I talk about their best gunships and best gold runners, so you can check those out. They do have some good ones like Virtuous Wind, Tiger's Breath, the super rare, and some of the 2 masters like Sea Duck and Sea Crane are pretty solid for treasure running, but generally better to focus on fighting with a decent amount of your points if you're making a Jade only fleet. So, and yeah, to that point, it's good to use some of their better ships to stay competitive with Jade only fleets, or at least reasonably competitive. You probably will default to using some of their more commonly used ships. They have some other ships that can run gold, like Sea Phoenix, Sea Wind, and I guess Sea Tiger is not too bad. And the turtle ships usually aren't too great. Noble Swan is solid, but a lot of times, if you're trying to stay remotely competitive with the Jades, you're going to want to use some of their best ships. Virtuous Wind is kind of like it kind of reminds me of the Tiger's Eye. Them and the Corsairs have a 3-master that's just like stacked. So Virtuous Wind is the Jade Rebellion counterpart almost to the Corsair ship Tiger's Eye. So just incredible ship. One of the best 3-masters in the game. The Spanish got like a slightly slower version of her after capturing her or whatever. But anyway, so if you do kind of go Jade only, you're probably going to, if you want to stay somewhat competitive, you're probably going to be using some of their best ships. And some of the 6 masters are a little underwhelming. It's kind of all over the place. Like Grand Temple and Grand Path are great. And then the other 3 are all S speed. So kind of tough to use. But overall, pretty solid faction. I generally say the Corsairs are the best minor faction because they're just the best at running gold out of the 4 minor factions. The Vikings and Mercenaries kind of suck. They're extremely hard to win games without, other faction help from the Pirates or whoever. So the Jades are kind of in the middle. So they're not as good at gold running as the Corsairs, and generally aren't as good at winning games, especially 40-point games or smaller games, as the Corsairs, but they can hold their own. They're a pretty solid faction overall. Be cool if they got a little bit more stuff, but for what they got in South China Seas, you can't be too disappointed. They got good ships, very good name crew, and it's a really cool set overall. So I definitely recommend, if you've got the wallet for it, I guess you could say, I recommend collecting the Jade Rebellion. They're a fun faction, pretty neat looking ships. Baochuan is amazing treasure ship. So anyway, Question of the day is how do you get the most out of the Jade Rebellion? And kind of want to hear if you've won with them, especially in single faction games, if you've had a good time with them or kind of struggled a bit. So, and how often you play them as a faction. I realize that is limited by collection because South China Seas is, I think it averaged 48 bucks a pack or more in 2023. So it is tough to get a lot of them. But anyway, be curious to hear your thoughts. And there's going to be a lot of links in the description. You can kind of see them a little bit on the video. So I've ranked the best gunships and gold runners for them and their best name crew, or all their name crew, I guess. And there's going to be an affiliate link where you can check out South China Seas on eBay if you want to check out some of those affiliate links. And if you buy from that, it'll help the channel and my website, Pirates with Ben, and my efforts to bring back the game, basically. So, and then God Mason did a thread where he did unique crew abilities by faction, is I think what it's called. So you can still see that. It was on Miniature Training, but you can still view it via the archive, the web archive, internet archive, also known as the Wayback Machine. So there's a link to that as well. And I also did a collection review series episodes for the Jade Rebellion for both their crew and their ships that I had back when I made those videos, which should include most of their stuff. So you can check that out if you want to get even more details on what I think about the various ships in their fleet. Overall, a thumbs up for, you know, they look cool, they perform decently, pretty balanced, better at fighting than gold running, but pretty balanced overall. Probably the most balanced minor faction overall out of the four, really. So pretty cool. I definitely enjoy them as a faction. So be curious to hear what your thoughts are on them and whatnot. So feel free to like if you enjoy the video. Obviously, you can subscribe for more videos. Definitely be pumping out plenty of videos this year, 2024. And hope to see you again soon. So feel free to check out the affiliate links. And thanks again for watching.